Hello, today's lesson is 4.5, which is writing equations in slope-intercept form. So point-slope form, not slope-intercept form. Point-slope form, you're going to need to have this memorized. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And it's actually your slope formula rearranged. If you want a way to remember it, here's your slope formula. If I multiply both sides by x2 minus x1, that cancels out. That is your point slope form, except we've dropped the sub 2's, and so that's just backwards, but that's your point slope form. So the first thing is just to write an equation in point slope form. And to write something in point slope form, you need a point and a slope. And so if you are given a point and a slope, all you have to do is plug them in. And so here's your form. What you're going to do is you're going to replace y1, m, and x1. Okay, x and y stay. So this is going to look like y minus, y1 is the y from your point, because remember every point gives you an x and a y. So this is y minus 0 equals, your m is negative 3/2 times x minus a negative 2. And then you're going to do two things just to clean this up a bit. Remember, we don't need to write minus 0, so this is just going to be y equals negative 3/2 times x. And remember, we don't write double signs, so minus a negative is just plus 2. There is your answer written in point slope form. So let's try that again. I would write out my point slope form. Okay, remember this is your x and your y and your m. Okay, and this is x1, y1, because you're going to keep y minus, y1 is a negative 4 equals negative 8/3 times x minus 1. Okay, and then you're going to simplify a little bit. You make that a plus 4. There we go. That is it in point slope form. Alright, so write the point slope form of an equation for a horizontal line that passes through 0, 5. Well, if it's a horizontal line, what is its slope? Slope is 0. Okay, so we're going to again look at slope-intercept form. I'm sorry, I keep calling it slope-intercept. Point slope form. I got slope-intercept on the brain. Okay, point slope form, y minus 5 equals 0 times x minus 0. And we're going to simplify this. 0 times anything is just 0, and you leave it just like that. Alright, so one more. Horizontal line that passes through this point. So horizontal line tells me what? Slope of 0. So I'm going to write out my point slope form. By the way, the more often you write it, I bet you the more likely you are to remember it. This is going to be y minus 4 equals 0 times x plus 4, because it'd be minus a negative 4 there. But 0 times anything is just 0, and so you need to simplify it to that. Okay, so 3 forms you should now have memorized. First one, point slope form, what we were just doing. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Slope-intercept form, which you should already have memorized. And standard form, ax plus by equals c, in which case you need to remember the 3 criteria for your a, b, and c. That was back in chapter 3 if you've forgotten those. Okay, so what we're going to do now is rearrange them. So here if you look at this, this is in slope-intercept form. This is y equals mx plus b. That's what that says. So this is slope-intercept form, but I want it in standard form. So standard form, a and x let's try this again. X and y are both on the left. So the first thing I would do then is to move the x over to the left, and I'm going to write it first because ax comes first. Okay, so this is kind of in the form, but what is wrong with it? Well, A, B, and C, first of all, have to all be integers, and A is a fraction. And A has to be either positive or 0, and it's currently negative. So to remedy that, let's multiply the entire thing by a -4. And if you want to think about that as a -4 over 1, you are distributing this. This is going to become positive 12 over 4, which is 3x minus 4y equals 20. That is standard form. Okay, so this one is in point slope form. You can tell because it says y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. But I want to write it in standard form. So the first thing you have to do here is actually distribute that 7. Okay, and then my x needs to move to what side? My x needs to be on the left, and I'm going to write it first on the left, and it's a positive y. And then this 1 should move to the right. So we get negative 7x plus y equals 36. Now, what's wrong with this? I can't have a negative a, so we're going to divide by -1, or you could multiply by -1. 7x minus y equals negative 36. Okay, this one wants you to go from point slope to slope intercept. So you're trying to get y all by itself on the left, and on the right you want it to go mx plus b. So again, the very first thing you do is distribute. So that's going to be -4. Then I can't have this 5 over here, so I'm going to move the 5 to the other side. There you go. That is slope-intercept form. So you're just rearranging these. Alright, so again, a point slope to slope-intercept. So first step, distribute. Okay. Then I want to have y equals, not y plus 6 equals. So minus the 6 from both sides. There we go. Alright, so this is a figure of a trapezoid, A, B, C, D. So here's A, B, C, D. And it has bases A, B, and C, D. And it says to write the point slope form of the lines containing the bases. Okay, well the first thing you might want to know is what's the slope of those lines? The slope of those lines is both 0, right? They're just horizontal lines. M equals 0, M equals 0. So, to write the line for AB, you're going to write y minus, so let's pick one of our points. Let's do B. Y minus 3 equals 0 times, you could write x minus 4, but what's 0 times anything? Just 0. So there you go. And then for CD, it's going to be y minus, and again I need a point, so let me do this point. Y minus a -2 equals 0 times x minus 6. So this is going to be y plus 2 equals 0. So those are the equations in point slope form. Then it wants them in standard form. Well, standard form is that the constant is on the other side, right? Because it's ax plus by equals c. So just move your constant to the other side, and you now are in standard form. Okay, so this one is a triangle that they're giving us the ordered pairs to, and it says write the point slope form of the line containing JK. You can graph it if you want, but all I need to know about the line containing JK is that it has those 2 points on it. So point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The very first thing you need is a slope, okay, because you have to have your slope. So let's figure out our slope. M equals, you remember it's the change in y over the change in x, -5 over -1, which is 5. And then you need to pick one of your points. It does not matter which point you pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick K. So this is going to be y plus 3 equals 5 times x minus 0, so just x. Now, if by chance you picked J, you would have y minus 2 equals 5 times x minus 1. They are both the right answer. You just use different points for them, which is fine. Then if you want to write it in standard form, for the first one, I would actually probably move the y to the other side. So that is the answer for the top one. But if you move the y to the other side and then flip the whole equation, you're going to have 5x minus y equals 3. There's your standard form. For the second one, because you don't have that 0 in there, you're going to have to distribute. And depending on how you want to do this, if I move my x to this side, move my 2 to that side, remember to watch your signs. -5x plus y equals a -3, but I can't have a negative a, so you get 5x minus y equals 3. So notice we end with the same standard equation from both, even though our point slopes looked a little different. Okay. That is for 5. Hope you learned something.